The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way. And Todd, I want to talk in all of the other platforms so we can get this started, because this is going to be an absolutely fantastic show. So, Todd, let's do it.
Hey, it's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And as you already know, Tuesday, 363. Huh? That means we got the real host on the show again today. We're talking about, the man, the legend, Dr. Michael Mantel. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, and it's such a delight to be here on a Tuesday, especially with KCBQ Radio and all of the listeners. This is going to be wonderful. Great show today.
It's going to be wonderful. We got a doc that's overseas. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's going to join us. He's going to talk about something that's, I believe, is so important to all of us as relates to especially males. So I'm excited about that. And so I'm looking forward to it. And how you doing, Dr. Cooley? I didn't forget about you. How you doing?
I'm doing great, James. How are you doing today?
I am. As you see, I'm fired up. I'm feeling pretty good. So can you do the honors? I mean, first of all, whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you watch us on E360 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Rumble, and over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you're listening to us on the radio and you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is pick up that phone down 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Dr. Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. So it's 360-degree Health Day, and the title of today's show is Male Mental Well-Being. And we're having a sit-down discussion with Dr. Adam Harrison. He is a former family physician, a qualified attorney at law, certified life, leadership, and executive coach and organizational trainer, company founder, keynote speaker, and regular podcast guest and host. He's going to discuss the high suicide rate in men globally, the reasons behind this, and what can we do about it, and why, as a doctor, he's advocating for a non-medical preventive approach. I said preventive, not reactive. So again, he's particularly interested in workplace well-being, kind leadership, and an interrelationship between the two. He's also currently developing his business skills and will soon be launching a company which aims to drastically improve men's mental wellness. He's married to an attending maxillofacial surgeon with whom he's the very proud co-parent of 2 daughters, currently aged 9 and 11. Please welcome to the show for the very first time, Dr. Adam Harrison.
Hello. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Dr. Michelle, and thank you for setting all of this up, and thanks for having me, all of you. This is a huge honor, and I love that intro. I'm just sitting here transfixed by all the music and the visuals. I'm like, this is serious. This is real important stuff. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
So how you doing, Dr. Harris? It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. As we was talking about earlier, that Dr. Michael Mantia always brings the best docs around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world, to educate not just the U.S. audience, but the world audience. So it's an absolute pleasure having you on. And so, Dr. Adam, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you? What makes you click? Why are you so passionate about the things that you do? And why are you so passionate about helping save mankind?
Thank you so much. Well, as you alluded to, I am international. I'm in New Zealand. I'm British, but we moved to New Zealand about 18 months ago. So we live in a beautiful small city called Tauranga on the coast in the North Island in the Bay of Plenty. And it's just wonderful here, and it's a great kind of place to finish the raising of our girls. What makes me tick or click? I've had some experiences recently myself in the last kind of few years where I have felt that provision of things for men is kind of under-resourced. I'll give you an example. I used to belong to a chain of a gym, Virgin Active in the UK, and I wanted to try yoga, and I booked myself in for a yoga class through the app, and I went along, and in those gyms you've got all those kind of glass walled rooms for different activities, and the room was full of women, kind of 20 to 40 or 50, not a Y chromosome in sight, and it made me feel really inhibited about going in, and I didn't go in. And there've been a few things that have happened to me like that, and more recently, we will all have experienced the great sadness and tragedy of losing friends and relatives, maybe to suicide, and that has I've experienced that as well, and it just kind of made me think, what is there for men, just for men, and there isn't a great deal out there unless you want to go down the pub, and drink beer with your mates, or it's kind of all sports related. I'm not a particularly sporty person, so this is why I'm looking for something different. And then this kind of tied in with the very, very high male suicide rates are kind of driving me on my current project.
So interesting, Dr. Harrison. You described something that's so, I think, practical and so very common. Men, here we are, go looking for places where we can hang out with other guys without having to drink and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
Necessarily, not that there's anything wrong with that for some people, but I think that there is certainly an issue that the current rates of mental illness in men have been related to a very complex blend of biological, psychological, sociological factors.
Yeah.
And I'd like to dig in to those things with you. I wanted to share with you Dr. Ron Levant, who is the former president of the American Psychological Association, said that we raise boys to be emotionally stoic and self-reliant, discouraging vulnerability. This emotional restriction leads to what he's called normative male alexithymia, a difficulty in recognizing and expressing feelings.
Yeah.
He says that boys learn early to avoid showing sadness or fear or confusion. And over time, these get masks, these get shoved down. What we do see is aggression and withdrawal and anger. So we're going to talk today a lot about this. I'm curious as to what you think, what the latest global statistics tell us about male suicide rates.
So, I mean, a kind of across the board, it does vary slightly, as you can imagine, between different countries and different cultures. But on average, the male suicide rate is roughly 4 times greater than the female suicide rate. That doesn't mean that mental health data in general is much higher in men, but the suicide rate certainly is really emphatically much higher. And yeah, I mean, Dr. Ron, really hit the nail on the head there. There's a lot of emotional suppression and repression as well. You could probably know much more about those terms than I do, being a psychologist, but it's sort of encouraged. It's kind of tied in with emotional intelligence. I think, the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more you can kind of express your emotions and so on. But it's got to come out somehow, hasn't it? These emotions have got to come out somehow. As he said, through aggression, through anger and frustration, and either physically or verbally or whatever. So, I mean, there's definitely that social conditioning to suppress emotion. There's an encouraged reluctance for men to seek help because it's seen as a stigmatized, kind of thing for men to show any weakness or to have any problems like that. The things that I'm really interested in as kind of background risk factors are things like social isolation, lack of community that we've already kind of alluded to, with there being less spaces for men outside of the sporting or kind of drinking arena, financial stresses, relationship breakdowns, divorces and so on, a reduction in the number of positive role models. There are lots of boys that come from families where the parents have separated and divorced and so on, and then sometimes the dad's no longer in the picture, and then that kind of combined with a not kind of targeting men for mental health support and mental health services, is
Hey, Doctor, can you hold that thought? We got that station.
Yeah, of course.
But I tell you, this is so interesting. We're gonna come back. We're gonna pick it up, and I'll tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on. Go to the comments. That's any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Oh, I've got to turn the commercial on. What we had time.
View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release.
Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I tell you, Tuesday, 360-degree health, Dr. Michael Mantia. I tell you, we got this absolutely fantastic guest on today that's educating us on a lot of things from a male perspective that we need to know about. And Dr. Adams, you had mentioned something to me that kind of caught my attention, had me thinking. You said that males commit suicide at 4 times the rate of women. Do you believe that there are particular stages and roles in life that are most vulnerable in certain groups or people that causes mental health or unstability because of what they have to live up to? I don't know if I asked the question the right way, but
it's a great question, Dr. James. Thank you. Yeah, there are. I mean, just kind of taking a step back, I think all of the stages of a male's life, and not just men, but from boys as well, are at risk for different reasons. We could do a whole episode on that, but certainly, from boys through to young adulthood, fatherhood, there's the kind of pressure to provide, midlife career plateaus, unfulfilled goals. Then, major life events like divorce or bereavement, lead to an increase in isolation. Often, we know that after a separation, after divorce, the men kind of get less of the friends, if you like, less of the mutual friends, and so on. And then in retirement, and pre-retirement, there's almost like a pre-grieving for the loss of role. I've worked with a lot of physicians who are kind of 5 years off retiring, and they're empty nesters, worried about their purpose, feeling lost, feeling stuck, having an identity crisis. But in answer to your question, to kind of nail it down a bit more, I think middle-aged men, sort of 40 to 59, have the highest suicide rates. And then other demographics, there are men in rural or more isolated areas who are at higher risk. Indigenous men and ethnic minorities are higher risk. They're often undersupported. And then unemployed men or those in high-stress jobs, the other end of the spectrum, are more affected as well. So they're the kind of key demographics for this tragic waste of life.
Amazing. Yeah. I've heard the statistics are all over the place. National Institute of Mental Health say that men age 75 and older have the highest suicide rate. And I think it's one of these things where you can chase down and see it's all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, one clinical psychologist named his name was Dr. Thomas Joyner. He said that many men who die by suicide experience what he calls perceived burdensomeness, and thwarted belongingness, which is what you've been saying. They feel like a burden and that no one would miss them. They don't say it out loud. I'm wondering, based on that, what your sense is about some of these misunderstood factors that the world doesn't get about men, and yet this has been going on for a long time. What's your sense of this? How can we begin to tune in better without chasing men away?
Gosh, that's really interesting, and I'd not heard that term, perceived burdensomeness.
Yeah, great line.
It really is, and yeah, I think tying that in with what the data that you kind of talked about older men in the later stage of their life, I can kind of see that. I think about my grandfather, who's still alive at 99.
Wow. Bless him.
Yeah. Bless him. And he's actually still very well in himself, cognitively and physically. But there will be a lot of, he's, most of the people we're talking about are no longer alive at his age, obviously, but the kind of 70, 80 plus, they probably do feel like a burden for sure. And on their, especially if they are widowers and, they're then kind of relying on their children, if they have children or other people, if they don't. But I'm not sure about that kind of concept in the younger demographics. What do you think? Obviously you're familiar with their work.
I think it's a societal thing, and that men are simply taught to be afraid of being seen as weak or broken or less of a man. It keeps people from seeking help, and I don't want to. I'm supposed to be taking care of the family. So that sense of self-talk we have to change. A lot of men avoid seeking help. That because it's until it becomes a crisis. We have something now. I want to pick up something else that you talked about earlier. Isolation. Your grandfather is, God bless him, 99 years old. A lot of men, 75, 80, 90. Are lonely. The Surgeon General of the United States, Vivek Murthy, said that loneliness is as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Bingo.
Sorry, Dr. James, did you want to?
No, we kind of missed out on that question, Dr. Mike. because it kind of froze for a second. Can you?
I'm sorry.
Repeat the Surgeon
Let
General?
me add, so the U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy said that loneliness is as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Dr. Harrison, you talked about loneliness and isolation before as an element of suicide and mental illness, particularly among men. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's absolutely crucial, and for me, it's the biggest driver. We're men are part of a wider society. We're part of communities. We're part of families. But are we part of tribes that we feel an affinity with? For me, the thing about wanting to create a male wellness space, part of which is the kind of the network of men, is for men to find the kind of people that they have this affinity with and join up with them. A lot of men don't have hobbies. I mean, again, going back to kind of peri-retirement physicians, 5 years before retiring, they've dedicated the last 30 years of their life to their family and their career. A lot of them have given up their hobbies, and their friendships, their good friendships, have fallen by the wayside because of those two primary focuses. So that obviously leads to isolation, and obviously in the elderly, it's really really obvious why that's the case. But in younger people, we're like, well, why? Younger people go to work, they have people around them all the time. How are they lonely? And I suppose there's this kind of distinction to be drawn between being alone and being lonely is quite an important thing to think about, because you can be lonely in a room full of people, right? We know that. But like I look at the young, the young people, they'll get together and they'll be on their devices, they'll all be on their screens, sitting together in a group, but they may as well be on their own, because they're just kind of like zoned in on their screen, right, their device. But it's, I think it's a lot to do with, again, men being, there's just an expectation that, men are able to do everything. We're able to make friends easily and so on. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone has that skill set, and that's something that can be learned and practiced. But there are a lot of people that, just of working age as well, that go to work and come home, and they then don't find the time because of family pressures or whatever to kind of reach out to their guy friends and arrange catch-ups and things. So it is just such a fundamental need for human beings to have social connections and be part of
we just have a couple of moments left before we have to take a break, but I assume that you use the expression "go to work." Many people don't go to work anymore. This is real life now.
Yeah.
And so this is what we have. I want to get into that a little bit more. One question I have, and we'll get into it when we come back. You've been a physician. Now you have, in a sense, pivoted to advocate for more non-medical preventative approaches to mental well-being, especially in men. And I'm curious about what led to that shift, because we're seeing that more and more in medicine with lifestyle medicine.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the most obvious and kind of stark reason for that is just look at the data. If the suicide rate is so high, then something is failing with the Western medical paradigm.
Hold that thought. We education. This is so wonderful. I don't want to miss a beat of, And Audrey, hey, thank you for communicating with us. We'll talk about the caregiver when we get back, and also when we get back, we want to talk about the link is what you think. That's a book from Dr. Michael Mantel. I mean, I always ask him to just grab the book and just turn to something and give us 5 pointers. So we're going to try to blend that in when we get back. But we also, Dr. Adams, you putting it down. You're putting it down. So I tell you, you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments, ask any question you might have. Dr. Adams or Dr. Mike or myself will provide you with an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Your life with Dr. James.
At Viridian Christian University.
Dr. James Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Nation. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Check it out. Your life with Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Well, let me change that up. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show, 360-degree health, Tuesday, with Dr. Michael Mantel in the driver's seat. And he is leading the way. And this absolutely fantastic guest, we have Dr. Adam Harrison. And what we're talking about is so prevalent to everybody in the world, especially males, because as we age sometime, I believe, I call it season, Doctor. You already know I call it season. As we become seasoned, many times we feel that we don't belong or people don't pay us that much attention. We become lonely. We become depressed. We can't do the things that we used to do when we was in our younger primes. But sometimes that's what aging is about. You can reminisce over things that you used to be able to do and still have those feelings and still have those desires and still have the sense that, hey, life still goes on. I'm going to continue to live. I'm not going to allow myself to become depressed. I mean, I'm not going to be in a room full of people and lonely. lonely. Dr. Adams, you brought that up a few minutes ago, that you can be in a room with a lot of folks and still feel lonely. What are some of the ways that we can encourage others to not go down that path?
I think it's about kind of normalizing these conversations, and so, encouraging them in the workplace, down the gym, in the down the bar, within group social settings. For too long we have, as we said earlier on in the conversation, being encouraged to suppress these feelings of and loneliness being one of them, and just kind of get on with it and be resilient and be stoical and be the man up. That's a terrible phrase, isn't it? Yes. The connotations of that are just awful. But it's and men are very often unprepared to be able to have these conversations because they're lacking those skills. But also kind of unwilling, excuse me, because of the stigma, and kind of embracing that stoical model. I'll just give you a very, very quick example. This is not a mental health example, but a physical health example. I remember when I was a family physician years ago, working in a mining town, and I had this ex-miner come in, and he was literally having a heart attack in front of me. And I said, I am sure you're having a heart attack. You need to get an ambulance and get you to the emergency room now. And he would not have it. He would not go in, and he was compos mentis, so I had to go with what he wanted. But he was like, "Oh, I'll be fine, doctor. It's just a bit of pain. I'll just go home and sit down and rest." And this is absolutely, I mean, that was a man of a certain generation. He was in his sort of early 70s or whatever. This is 20 years ago. But, a lot of that has been carried through. So we just need to, encourage men gently, because they, otherwise they're going to there's going to be pushback. But, maybe in an anonymous way, maybe doing it online, maybe doing it one-to-one, starting gently, and then realizing, oh gosh, I haven't kind of destroyed my life by telling someone that I'm lonely or, that I feel low. Actually, it's the thought of things is often worse than the actuality, isn't it? We know that, so it's just getting beyond that realization point that actually it's okay to talk about. I don't feel like the world hasn't caved in by me talking about this. And then you can kind of go a bit further, but being in groups of men who have experienced the same kind of thing, and so it's normalized, is just so crucial, I think.
Wow. We got Audrey saying, my client and I mean, to help alleviate some of that, they would do word puzzles together to bring him in to a lot of things. Dr. Mike, your book, everybody love your book. How does the link and is what you think? I mean, is just open up like you normally do and come up with 5 different things that might relate to what we're talking about that could help others out.
Beautiful cover.
I know that guy. I'm going to open up to random. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. So I wrote the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, back in 1988. And the link is what you think I came out with a number of years ago. And I'm passionate about helping people disturb themselves less. So I'll share 5 points. This is on page 84, togetherness. It's just random. And Dr. Harrison, we're just talking about loneliness and isolation. Number 1, looking for victory. Try creating unity first. It'll lead you to your goal. 2, you're only as strong as you are united with others. Lifting weights won't do it. 3, turn me upside down and you have we. Looking for happiness, unity is the key ingredient. Divisiveness will destroy your happiness. And number 5, Unity is not the same as uniformity. I think Martin Luther King said that. Don't worry, be yourself with others. And so that's the point here. When we think about what men believe about themselves, it's all up here. It's all up here. Suicide is the result of untreated or maltreated pain. If you're a man struggling in silence, you're not weak, you're human. And Dr. Harrison, I want to know what you think are the limitations of the current mental health care system when it comes to proactively supporting men the way you're proposing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, absolutely. Globally, there is the healthcare systems they're not just creaking, are they? They're that imply they're bursts, right? They've gone beyond that point a long time ago. There's a lack of doctors, a worldwide shortage of doctors and nurses and mental health professionals and all healthcare professionals. But there's just not the resources, the financial or human resources, to be able to help the problem. In some countries, you're going to factor in, other obstacles and hurdles, like, whether someone is insured or not, and whether, it depends on them actually having health insurance. And if they don't, then, it's interesting. I had a friend who'd recently come back from San Francisco, and I went to San Francisco about, 20 years ago. And there's a lot of people that you see, who probably, with a kind of amateur diagnosis, have like chronic schizophrenia, walking around, and they don't have insurance, they're homeless, they don't have medications, so the system is failing humans, but men, it's reactive. So you get to the point where maybe someone has attempted suicide unsuccessfully, and then they might get some treatment. If they come in through the ER or whatever with an overdose, or they've cut themselves or whatever it is. But it's not preventative, as Dr. Michelle said earlier. It's reactive, not preventative. So you've got all these cracks in the system, a completely failed system that men are just falling through. And so I guess that as a life leadership and executive coach myself, and being on the receiving end of coaching and mentoring, and being fortunate enough to be in communities of men, and I'm quite proactive about arranging for the dads of the school that my kids go to for us to meet up, so we're going out next Wednesday, and I'm kind of spearheaded that. But I have the kind of confidence and the wherewithal to do that. But I just see that we know that community is so important. Coaching and mentoring is important. Education about all sorts of things that lead to the crisis point, like being bankrupt or not being able to provide for your family because you're financially illiterate. These kind of like really quite basic things that aren't dealt with at school. I don't know about in the States, but there's a real paucity of financial education, education around relationships, how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, all these sorts of really important things that get to people and lead to that crisis point. So this is not something that the Western medical paradigm is set up to deal with. There just aren't the resources, human and financial. So,
wow. We got to take a station break, but you just hit on something that we got to talk about because in my messages that I try to encourage is financial literacy. A lot of people are in trouble or having problems because they're illiterate when it comes to that, and they think that they know. So, hey, Dr. Mike, when we get back from this break, can you go to that one right there?
Absolutely.
That you talked about, and I'll tell you what, your platform that you watch this on. Hey, we still got another segment. You want to be part of the conversation? Just pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-7770. That's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Come on.
There's
Doctor.
Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are. Grow in faith. And build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
Now hear this.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and Tuesday, 360-degree health. Dr. Michael Mantiel. We got Dr. Adam Harrison here. I mean, I tell you, this conversation is so important that we got to have him back on, Dr. Mike. I mean, if his schedule permits. I mean, he might be too busy over in New Zealand that he might not.
Never too busy for you, Dr. James.
So I tell you, we got about 9 minutes left in the show. One thing I want to talk about, I want to talk about this university called Viridian Christian University. Very outstanding, superb, not just because I'm the chancellor, but we are helping people in life. We're saving lives. We are helping people to further their education for the fraction of the cost from accredited university. I tell you what, whatever your education goal, just like Dr. Adam just mentioned, sometimes it's financial literacy, right? And sometimes it just take that little click turnaround to understand that, hey, maybe I need to understand finance a little bit more. Maybe I need to understand Christian leadership a little more. Maybe I need to do some things. So only thing I ask you to do is, if you're thinking about furthering your education, we offer 36 different degree programs, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and depending on what you're doing, honorary doctorate degrees if you're doing above and beyond, and you're blessing people, you're helping people out. ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com. I turn it back over to you, Dr. Mike, because
thank you. I want to just share what I've learned so far, Dr. Harrison, is that the solution to male mental distress is not more medicine, not more medication. It's more meaning, it's more connection, and it's a very bold redefinition of what strength really looks like. So I'm wondering, in this last segment, if you could wave a wand and change one thing about how society approaches male mental well-being, what would it be?
God, that's a brilliant question. Gosh, one thing.
Well, two things.
Yeah. I think for this kind of historical kind of enclosure that men are in, that kind of goes back generations, but is still there, for those sort of shackles to be freed, so that men know that it's okay. So the men are encouraged by their parents. I mean, I'm a parent of two girls, and I encourage them to express their emotions, and trying to, working on my own emotional intelligence and theirs as well. But for parents of boys, younger ones, to encourage them, that paradigm has to shift from the one of suppression, and for them to know that there is strength in sharing, not strength in keeping it all in. That's the opposite of strength. That courage comes, with vulnerability and authenticity. These are words that are bandied around a lot these days in the coaching and the well-being world, as you well know. But I mean, like, very, very literally, for boys and young, teenagers and young men to be encouraged to share their fears, and to see that there is strength in that. And if it can't come from the parents, because we know it can't always, then part of my master plan is that there's a network of mentors, so that older men who are more emotionally mature can encourage that in the younger men as well. So I think that would be my thing, because I think that would really help a lot of these problems, because if you feel able to open up and share, then you can do that in a network. You can be part of community. You can admit things like your deficiencies, like, I'm not very financially literate, and this is something I need to work on. Acknowledge it, admit it, get on with the remedial work.
You are leading the way. I follow all your work and social media and so forth. I've known you for quite a number of years. You're leading the way in essentially messaging. Don't wait for men to break before we offer help. You're talking about building systems, cultures, conversations that reach people early with empathy, not just intervention. So given that, is there some message that you want our male listeners and our female listeners to walk away with after hearing this conversation?
Well, thank you for asking that. And thank you for mentioning the women. The women in our lives, that I have a podcast called Inspiring Women Leaders. I'm a huge ally to women. I am massively inspired by my wife and my daughters and my mum and my sisters every single day. And the conversations I've had with women around this kind of male-centric model that I'm proposing have been really encouraging, because they are all saying, we need this. We need the men in our lives, the men in the world, to be healthy, because then they can be good dads and good husbands and good sons and good brothers and good friends and good colleagues and so on. So I have kind of unanimous support from the women who have seen me speak about this as well. But if there's a man out there now who is in a dark place, in a bad way, I just want them, my message to them, who if they're struggling in silence on their own, is that you're not alone. We know that there are lots of men struggling with these things. You don't have to suffer in silence. It's absolutely not your fault. This is really important. There's that kind of, there's shame associated, shame and blame. You don't have any reason to feel ashamed. It happens. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not a weakness. Women are your partners, mums, sisters, daughters, friends. They are not the enemy. We need them as allies, and they need us just the same. And your story matters, and recovery is possible. I think without delving, we've probably all been in these dark places, the three of us men here, and we've come through it. And we're here to help that men who are struggling, but also to be shining lights of what is possible, I hope.
Hey, Dr. Adam, thank you so much. Just like I extended an invitation again, Dr. Mike, we got to do part 2 of this.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show to talk about this great topic. I'd like to thank Dr. Mike. Always, that's my guy. That's my guy right there. Always coming up with great docs. I'd like to thank Michelle for always putting together absolutely fantastic shows. I'd like to thank my studios in San Diego and also in Dallas, Fort Worth, and also Spotify, iHeartRadio, every platform that we own. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for always listening to the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back.
Let's go. Dr. James, JC, Cooley, it's your life.